One last battle to hold the line against the night.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
Hold the line. No one gets through, no matter what.
Sir, what are your orders?
There's only one order, Lieutenant. We hold.
Incoming transmission.
Allied reinforcements have arrived from the west.
Holonet on Mojo 50 Radio. The millennial conservative resistance begins right here, right now.
Oh, yes, the new millennial conservative resistance does indeed begin right here, right now with you. You're listening to, and God, I hope you're watching, the Holonet on the mighty Mojo 50. How are you? How are you indeed? Today it is Saturday. It is the 30th of November in the year of our Lord 2019. Belated happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Gobble Gobble Turkey Day. You have a good time? You eat a lot of turkey? Hit that tryptophan coma? Because God, I did. Twice. And it's starting to show a little in the cheeks there. I think maybe I need to get on one of these fad diets or something. Hey, we haven't had a dietary like sponsor in a little bit, have we? I don't know, or I gotta check with Dominic on that. Speaking of Dominic, did want to let you guys know, hey, I'm going to be subbing for the one, the only, the irreplaceable, the inimitable Dominic Izzo for the Rants of Izzo, and that is going to be for our Arizona listeners. That's going to be from 5 to 7 p.m. on Monday, and I believe that's from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 to 6 Pacific. So make sure you catch me then on the Rants of Izzo. It's going to be the Hollow Rants for this Monday. It's going to be a good time. I have no idea what the hell I'm going to do. No idea at all. No planning has gone into this whatsoever, because Dominic informed me it's got to be a complete and total shit show in order to kind of meet his standard. It's got to be very, very kinetic, very kinesthetic, very hands-on, with a lot of uncomfortable touching in order to suit the Warrior Legion, the Rants of Izzo audience. So we're going to do our damnedest, and I'm going to do my best to bring you guys one hell of a show in the absence of Mr. Izzo. So, yeah, that's Monday. A little bit of housekeeping. Cool. Let's move on. Before we start the show, did want to let you know about our fantastic sponsors over at lovemytummy.com/mojo. Lovemytummy.com/mojo. That is the Atrantil. Atrantil, brought to you by Dr. Ken Brown. Dr. Ken Brown's a butt man. Ken Brown, MD. He's a gastroenterologist. Tested and confirms this product. It is chock full, not of nuts, because it's not that heavenly coffee. And we're not talking about nuts today. It is chock full of polyphenols. Polyphenols are a molecular substance. It's a molecule that your body craves in order to help you with inflammation, in order to help you with the bubble guts, the thunder poops, the cramps, the postprandial upper abdominal distension, as Dr. McCoy likes to say on the Star Treks. All those issues, because all your health, it comes from right over here. It comes in the guttal region, and then it moves down to the buttal region, and then into the toiletal region. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your body. So check out Atrantil. That is at lovemytummy.com/mojo. Use promo code MOJO. You can get yourself 3 bottles of Atrantil. I believe it's for $99, a 3-month supply. And you can take that test and get it hooked up. All right. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your body. Atrantil. lovemytummy.com/mojo. Well, now that we got that out of the way, now that we're done with that, you know, got to pay the bills, keep the lights on around here. The forward operations center of the Mojo 50 network here in the vast Sonoran Desert is not going to pay for itself, damn it. Speaking of which, you know we got some tornadoes out here? No, I'm not kidding. I'm not messing with you. This is from a local affiliate of CBS 5 out here, azfamily.com. The Phoenix area was under siege early Friday morning when not one, not two, but 3 tornadoes swept through. The National Weather Service confirmed Friday evening, roughly 15 hours after the fact. Apparently it took them that long to pick their jaws up off the floor. This isn't friggin' Kansas. What is this crap? Anyway, the first confirmed tornado was in the area of Williams Field and Loop 202 Santan Freeway. That's down toward the Mesa area. And the second was in the Queen Creek area. And the third was in the North Phoenix Paradise Valley area. The North Phoenix tornado was the first to touch down just after 4 a.m. The East Valley ones came about 40 to 50 minutes later. This is kind of on the heels, guys, just so you know, of some slobber knocker winter storms we've been getting for the last couple of weeks here in Phoenix. In Phoenix, we have the monsoon season, which usually stretches from like mid-July out to about October. And then you have sometimes winter storms that creep up in November, December, January. This year, the monsoon was decent. You know, we had some pretty solid storms. The winter storm so far, dude, it's like every other day you get a flash flood warning. Phoenix is just getting pelted. In the area where I'm at, we actually got some of the highest rain totals. For one day, we actually got over 1.5 inches of rain, which the terrain out here just does not handle well. And now tornadoes into the mix. So I go on. The Twisters took out massive trees and poles and left behind paths of debris and destruction behind at 3rd Street and Thunderbird Road. Trees that were nearly 20 feet tall were ripped down along with their root and irrigation systems. Some of these trees fell on homes and fences. The storms left a broad swath of damage from North Phoenix to parts of the East Valley. The National Weather Service was swamped Friday, spending the day surveying the damage around the valley. The agency cited both radar and storm damage in its reports. Quote, "This is tornadic damage because we're seeing it in a number of locations, kind of skipping along through this area of North Phoenix and North Scottsdale," said Ken Walters with the NWS. He said that crews stopped at 10 different locations to collect data. They were looking at the direction in which the trees fell, measuring diameters of trunks that were yanked out of the ground. In North Phoenix, the NWS notes that trees with a trunk diameter of up to 3 feet were uprooted. National Weather Service sent out phone alerts warning residents about the tornado at 4 a.m., in an effort to keep everybody safe. Now, the tornadoes were measured on the EF scale, the Enhanced Fujita scale, which, if the movie Twister taught you anything when you were a kid, measures a tornado by wind speed and how much it eats or destroys. The scale runs from EF0, which causes light damage with winds between 65 and 85, to EF6, which causes massive damage with winds in excess of 200 miles an hour, or as discount Eric Clapton informed us, is the finger of God. Now, according to the National Weather Service report, the North Phoenix tornado was an EF1, which caused moderate damage with 86 to 110 mile-per-hour winds. The East Valley tornadoes were not readily available with estimates. So, tornadoes in Phoenix, along with this bombogenesis storm, which reports are coming in this hour, very, very early Saturday, that tragically a family was staying in an RV near Tonto Creek, Tonto Basin, Arizona, just up east of the valley. And unfortunately, they were swept up in floodwaters descending down the Tonto Creek. The RV was swept away. Apparently, 2 adults and 2 children were successfully rescued from that RV, but 3 children, ages 5 and 6, are still missing. And as of this hour, we pray for their safe return. Even as, you know, hopes fade, we still pray that they'll be delivered back into their families' hands, and that they will be rescued alive and well. Try to keep you guys posted on that one online. Make sure you keep an eye on local Arizona sources for that. Also, way up by the Grand Canyon, some 1,000 tourists and other folks stranded in the very small town of Tusayan up near the Grand Canyon, stranded there without heat or power due to the bomb cyclone, quote unquote, which has struck the southwestern United States and the northwestern United States as well, with extremely powerful winter storms. And our thoughts are with them tonight as well, as they're stranded up there. Hopefully they're staying warm and staying toasty. So this insane storm has just been pummeling the western United States, all the way up to the northeastern United States. The Macy's Day Parade back on Easter, yeah, sure. Good job, Matt. On Thanksgiving Day. They had to keep the balloons like really close to the ground for that. It's crazy stuff. And it's kind of interesting to me that we're seeing all of that this year. And, you know, I don't want to put my conspiracy hat on. Is for one thing, it's all the way across the room, and I have to walk over there, and that's not a good look when you're on camera. But this year has been crazy weather. It's been crazier politics. And it has seen the United States of America drift very close to our English cousins in the threat of just a revolving door government and presidency. The reason that I say that is, if I'm not mistaken, the UK is currently in the throes of, I believe it's their 4th or 5th election in the last 4 years. I'm going to have to pull that up. I'm going to check on that. But what Britain has gone through has been a series of no confidence votes and a series of resignations of government ever since Brexit in 2016. Okay, so how many British elections since 2016? Yeah, so I'm checking into that, and we've had several snap elections. And it's only been 3.5 years since Brexit was voted upon. But the national votes for a government, here we go, to run their country are supposed to be held every 5 years, according to common practice in England, because they don't really have a codified constitution. So they're supposed to elect their parliament, and their parliament then chooses their prime minister. It's a little different. Everybody thinks the British people vote for a prime minister. They don't. They don't. The prime minister is actually appointed by parliament. So you vote for your party in parliament, and then they themselves choose who is their leader. When you hear leader of the Labour Party, you know, Jeremy Corbyn, leader of the Conservative Party, Boris Johnson, forgive me. Oh, by the way, I didn't blow our shooting over the pond. So let me do that real quick, because I kind of segued into it without thinking about it. So let's see, where is that here? Yeah, here we go. And demonetized. All right. So we're talking about the UK now. The UK, they actually don't elect their prime minister. They elect their party in parliament, and whoever has the majority or the working majority or plurality and can form a government, a coalition government. We've talked about, you know, coalition parties before. They become the prime minister. In this case, Boris Johnson's the head of the Conservative Party, and he's been calling for a new election, which finally the Labour Party called for a new election. So this is their third election in 4 years. Think of the chaos that would impose here in the United States if we had 3 elections in 4 years for Congress and the president. And I'm not talking about, you know, just the onesie twosie seats that we have, because the way we work, we have frequent elections. We have every 4 years we vote for the president, and then we have the off elections, the by-elections, where you have some of the House comes up, some of your state offices come up, some of your local offices come up, and there's an election every year in November, right? But it's a smaller election. No, we're talking the entire legislature, the whole Congress, every seat of the Congress, every seat of the House, and every seat of the Senate, for the sake of argument, because you know, the House of Lords obviously isn't elected in the UK. But if that came up 3 times in 4 years, along with the president, you'd never get out of it. Think about how they currently run. Okay. It is 2019 right now. The election, the run-up to the election started in mid-2018 for the presidency. where people, will they, won't they? Are they going to run? Is it going to run? Is Joe Biden going to run? Is Hillary Clinton going to jump in? Is Michelle Obama going to run? Oh my God, is Michelle Obama going to run? All of that started back in 2018. It's now almost the end of 2019. We're getting into the election in 2020. We're getting into the home stretch. 12 months to go. But imagine that, doing this whole thing over and over and over again. Why? Because of a fundamental political disagreement between the parties. Think of that. That is what is going on in the UK right now. Right now. And the way that our country now, here in the US, the way that we're rolling, we're about this effing far from doing the same damn thing. Think about it. How many times, going back, okay, to last couple presidencies, so let's cover my lifetime. How many times was the word impeachment bandied about with Barack Obama? A couple times with former President Barack Obama? Quite a few people on the right talking about impeach the bastard. Myself included. I wholly admit I didn't like what he was doing. I thought President Obama should have been impeached over Benghazi. Absolutely should have been impeached over Benghazi, and that was that was leading into that. Was it that November 11th, 2015? No, September 11th, 2015. No, it was on the. No, it couldn't have been 2011. Could it? Yeah, I think that actually might have been 2011 on 10-year anniversary. Yeah. Yeah, look at me. Can't even remember the date of Benghazi. Ouch. But I thought he should have been impeached over that easily. Instead, the guy get elected for another term. And we're still investigating it to this day. But then think about before that. Think President George W. Bush. How many times did President George W. Bush stare down the barrel of people talking impeachment? When it came down to the military prison scandals that occurred in Iraq, when it came down to the WMD, the weapons of mass destruction, people stating that our whole casus belli, or cause for war, was completely fraudulent. How many times did he stare down that? Every presidential term, going back all the way to Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton actually was impeached. Okay? Since then, the last president who didn't have a realistic risk of impeachment, and I say realistic because I don't really think it got very close to it, was George H.W. Bush. And even he had the potential backlash, especially in his own party, for read my lips, no new taxes. Oops, we got a war to fight. I got to raise the taxes. It has slowly progressed that impeachment is no longer an ugly word in American politics. But now we're seeing the disastrous consequences thereof. In 2019, how little has your Congress accomplished when day to day they are focused on gotta get rid of Trump, gotta get rid of Trump, gotta get rid of Trump, gotta get rid of Trump. And over and over again, it's all you hear. The mainstream media is obsessed and they're locked on target. The Democrats in the House are obsessed and they're locked on target. And what are the Republicans and in the House and in the Senate forced to do? They're forced to defend the president instead of fighting on the policies. And this serves two functions. Number one, this ties up Congress. This prevents Congress from acting on the things that the American people need. And number two, this makes it so that in the next election, the Democratic Party can equally claim that when the Republicans were in power, they were a do-nothing party. Because the Republicans are so busy falling all over themselves to defend the president, they don't have time to do anything else. So now, let's take the long view here. Let's look at the British situation, where you again have 3 elections inside 4 years. Now come to the American situation here, where we're getting more and more comfortable with the concept of a political trial for our presidency. Because that's all this comes down to. That's what this comes down to, this impeachment proceeding. This is not a legal trial. This is not a legal hurdle that President Trump faces. No, this is a political affair. It's all it ever has been. That's why the burden of proof is so flimsy. It doesn't matter as far as the legal standards are concerned whether his conduct rises to the level of what is actually considered a crime. What is impeachable, and this is through several legal scholars, what is impeachable is whatever Congress thinks is impeachable. They are the only body that gets to decide, that gets to discern what they feel is impeachable conduct. I mean, sure, you have the constitutional values of high crimes and misdemeanors, bribery and such, but at the end of the day, they are the only body that gets to make that call. So how far are we now from passing a law or putting an amendment in that allows for a simple vote of no confidence to change the leadership of the American Republic, and that would allow our legislature to overturn our vote for President of the United States? How far are we from that? Because I'm sure it's frustrating the hell out of the left. And I'm sure it's been spoken of, in the dark corners when the walls of their hearing room seem to close in and the whole world seems to shrink, a hushed, tremblesome, wild thing, when they think to themselves, how can we do this faster? Think about it. How far are we from a system like the British have, where all it takes is that vote of no confidence? We are not confident in the president's leadership, and we demand a change. It's a frightening concept, is it not? Could you think how catastrophically damaging 3 elections for president and for the full Congress would be to our American people? It's an ugly thought. We shall return. We're coming back here from a quick break. You're listening to the HoloNet on the Mighty Mojo 50.
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google. If a paraglider made a phone plan, it would keep him connected so he could share pics from up here and, from down there. Stay connected with 3 networks in one with a little help from Google Fi.
Holonet on Mojo 50 Radio. The millennial conservative resistance begins right here, right now.
Boys, girls, children of all ages, the new millennial conservative resistance does indeed begin right here, right now with you. Thanks for sticking around and sticking in for the first half of the Holonet. And we have a little bit more to get to today, a little bit more to touch upon. My hair's doing a weird thing. If you're watching on video, I'm sure it's entertaining to look at, but I digress. All right. So, go and check it out here. We have a couple of more stories that I wanted to touch on. How about President Trump this past week? I know we've all been busy with Thanksgiving and Black Friday and all that madness, which, by the way, I saved 100% at every store by doing 0 effing shopping on Black Friday. I strongly recommend this. Don't buy into that bullshit. But anyway, President Trump this past week. So, President Trump takes what is ostensibly an apolitical function of the pardoning of the turkey. And he used it as an amazing opportunity to dunk on Adam Schiff. Let me see if I can pull that audio for you here real fast. Okay, here we go. Go to ABC News for this audio here. Check this out. Of course, got to wait 15 seconds for the ads. Curse you, YouTube. Curse you for putting ads on everybody else's stuff but mine. Okay, so go to President Trump's comments right here.
Let's talk to you for a second, because I'm going to do something that you're going to be very happy about. Uh-oh, that looks like a dangerous bird. It just escaped.
Listen, isn't this great? This is funny. It gets better.
Butter, I wish you a lot of luck. But I hereby grant you a full and complete pardon.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Going to the Gobbler's Ranch, and I'm going to visit them Friday.
That's great. Thank you all very much. That was great. A lot of fun. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the...
Oh, wait a minute. They actually didn't include it. I gotta see if there's another station that has it, because he actually joked around that Adam Schiff would want to interview the bird. Hang on, let's see here. Here we go. Hang on. I'm trying to cue it up for you.
Thank you very much, everybody. Really great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's bloody last year. This is ridiculous. President Trump actually made a fantastic joke at this, and it looks like they're trying to bury it post facto. I'm trying to pull it up for you here, but I heard this actually live the day of, that he used it as an opportunity to dunk on Adam Schiff. And I'm trying to pull you that audio. So hang on just a second, see if I can get to it here.
Hereby grant you a full pardon. Thank you very much, everybody. Really great. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No, it's the same video. Oh my god, what is going on here? This is ridiculous. I'm trying to locate this video. And it's just not there. Okay, hang on. I'll pull it up here. Alright. I didn't show prep this part. I'm going to admit that to you right now. But the reason why I go to this is because President Trump has done some very interesting things this past week. And before I jump to that, I did miss my typical ad read at the bottom of the hour, so I want to address that real fast. If you haven't done it yet, please go on to mojo50.com/shop and check out KBMD CBD oils. We actually do have the CBD oil from KBMD that are available. It is 900 milligrams of cannabidiol, contains all of the terpenoids, cannabinoids, and essentials oils from the original plant. It is a CO2 extract from an industrial hemp, and it is a certificate of authenticity included cannabis oil. So if you're going to use CBD oils, if you're interested in using that to help you with your inflammation, possibly pair it along with the Atrantil, you can do that on mojo50.com/shop. Pick up the KBMD, Ken Brown MD, he's a butt man, KBMD, cannabis oil, CBD oil, and that is on mojo50.com/shop. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, at checkout, and you can actually get $15 off that purchase. But let me see, because I got to Google this up for you, because, yeah, here we go. Fox News. Trump uses Turkey pardon to mock Schiff. And I can't believe that the mainstream media, they actually tried to keep that out of their coverage. But this I'm going to pull you from Fox News. I haven't updated this app on my iPad in a long time, so it's probably going to take a minute to load. But yes, President Trump used that opportunity to mock Adam Schiff, which was just hysterical. And furthermore, later on Thanksgiving, he yet again took the opportunity to lay out the mainstream media and just mock them mercilessly. And you're going to love how if you haven't heard this. So, Trump uses Turkey pardon to mock Schiff, says birds already received subpoenas. Okay, so President Trump pardoned 2 North Carolina turkeys Tuesday to spare them from becoming anybody's Thanksgiving meal, but he couldn't resist using the traditional Rose Garden ceremony to take a few shots at Adam Schiff. Quote, "These turkeys will remain calm under any condition," Trump said, which is good because they've been subpoenaed to appear in Adam Schiff's basement. Now, I wonder why that wasn't in the CBS or NBC or ABC cuts that I was able to find on YouTube. Isn't that curious? It's almost like they were embarrassed, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? He said, "Unlike previous witnesses, you and I have actually met," he said to the birds. For good measure, Trump took a swipe at the media as well. He said, "I expect the pardon will be popular with the media. After all, turkeys are closely related to vultures." The 2 turkeys, bread and butter, traveled to Washington from North Carolina. None of this is on the video that's available on YouTube. How about that? You're here. You are my witnesses. I pulled up those videos, and it's very short, very succinct. None of that is on there. It's as if they want to erase it. You know what else they want to erase real bad? They really want to erase the fact that President Trump, in the same 24 hours, held a campaign rally, which was very well attended. And then within that 24 hours, on Thanksgiving Day, sent a motorcade to his golf course, which the mainstream media then popularly reported as President Trump spending the first day of his Thanksgiving break golfing and tweeting, popularly reported by Newsweek and also by CBS, I believe. And then he hops on a plane, flies to Afghanistan, and serves the troops Thanksgiving dinner. All while the media is reporting that he's tweeting and golfing. Thanksgiving week kind of sucked for the press, huh? Just brutal, just savage. Just such savagery. Speaking of things that are both true and brutal and also savage, have you been on FreedomHard.com? If you haven't been on FreedomHard.com, I strongly recommend that you do. FreedomHard is a new website. It's a new concept of social media, one that is free of the boundaries of Facebook and YouTube's restrictions on speech. So I strongly recommend that you go to FreedomHard. That's FreedomHard.com. And when you're there, feel free to check out the little video that I put up, which is called Come With Me. And it is a little ditty that I sang for our friends over at FreedomHard. Make sure you click on some of the links there to give those guys some love. Chris White is the founder of FreedomHard, a great patriot, great friend of Mojo 50, and I know that Dominic Izzo's on there. You also have That's What She Said. Jennifer's on there as well, and so are the defenders of American exceptionalism, Dylan and Steven. I'm on there too. Make sure you look me up, freedomhard.com, and you can search for HoloNet on FreedomHard, and I'm right there for you. All right, so next story I wanted to cover. Apparently, President Trump's remarks about potentially hunting down the drug cartels and naming the drug cartels as terrorist organizations, which many presidents have toyed with, but none have actually pulled the trigger on, is creating some waves south of the border, with President Manuel Lopez Obrador actually sending a warning to the White House. This coming to us from the Business Standard. Mexico warns it will not allow U.S. operations against cartels. President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, sorry I left out Andre, warned on Friday that Mexico will not allow armed U.S. operations against drug cartels on its territory. Quote, "We are not going to allow that armed people act in our territory." Bad translation there. "Armed foreigners cannot intervene in our territory. We will not allow that," López Obrador said. U.S. President Donald Trump said Tuesday he planned to designate the Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations after earlier saying that he would help Mexico wage war on the drug gangs and wipe them from the face of the earth. This is exactly what people in Arizona and New Mexico, in Texas, have been calling out for the president to do, for Washington, D.C. to do, is take a hard stance against the cartels that are taking control of more and more of our border area, that are putting our Border Patrol agents under siege and are acting with impunity, an impunity that cost numerous lives of U.S.-Mexican family, a Mormon family on the south side of the border there, who are dual citizens of the U.S. and Mexico, in the tragic gangland-style shooting where many women and children were tragically killed. Caught in the crossfire. And it's about time D.C. actually stood up and did something. And this is one of those situations where Manuel López Obrador, President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, who's half a socialist himself, I understand that Mexico as a sovereign nation has a pretty serious issue in the past with foreign insurrections into their country. One can think of the Mexican-American War. You can also think of, the invasion of Veracruz and the other events leading up to and subsequent to World War I that would kind of stick in their craw a little bit. But, notwithstanding, the cartels no longer present a mere danger to Mexico and merely an annoyance to the United States. They represent a clear and present danger to the United States itself, and we must act. And acting in good form as good allies, one would expect Mexico to greet our assistance with open arms. Because they certainly don't mind buying up all of our old military hardware, do they? They certainly don't mind taking millions upon millions of dollars of federal aid from the U.S. What is their predilection against our boots on the ground, our people that are willing to spill blood in the mud in order to solve this problem? I'm afraid there's a bit more devious problem here. It's the deep infiltration of the Mexican state by these cartels. They are institutionalized within the Mexican government. Obrador knows this and is doing nothing to stop it. If anything, his actions, or shall I say his inactions, his unwillingness to reach out a hand of cooperation to the Trump administration, is sealing the deal that his government will go down in history as yet another corrupt edifice of the crumbling Mexican nation, plagued and contaminated by the evil of the cartels. It's a sad day for the Mexican people. A time when we could have banded together to rid both of our nations of this menace for once and for all, squandered. Foolishly. A lot of people have been calling out regarding the seeming anti-Trump alignment of Matthew Drudge. Drudge has always done his own thing. Whether you agree with him or not, whether you like him or not, Matt Drudge is going to do what Matt Drudge is going to do. And he's not necessarily the most predictable person either. In the past, I've had a lot of respect for him. He paved the way for the intellectual dark web, for alternative media. And I think he did the world a lot of good. But he's going in a direction that seems to leave behind the better judgment that he once showed. This is a man who went toe-to-toe against one of the most popular Democrat presidents of our time and succeeded because the man was doing something wrong and he knew it. And I have trouble accepting the stance that he's taken against President Trump in light of what is clearly an extremely corrupt, politicized process. But Matt Drudge is going to do what Matt Drudge is going to do. I was heartened to read this week that apparently Dan Bongino is now going to be launching his own alternate to Drudge. The competing news aggregator will be named Bongino Report. He announced this, Wednesday. He made several tweets promoting the new project, saying, "Tired of Drudge? Get ready. The Bongino Report is almost ready for launch. Drudge has abandoned you. I never will." He said we'll be featuring exclusively conservative and libertarian content. In other words, real news. Don't miss the Bongino Report, coming very soon. In recent months, Drudge has come under fire from its audience over accusations that the outlet has shifted to negative Trump headlines and pro-Buttigieg coverage, Fox News reported. According to the Washington Times, Bongino isn't the only one looking to take on Drudge. The Times reported 5 right-tilting upstarts, What Finger News, Liberty, Rantingly, News Ammo, and Gab Trends are all on the rise. From July to October, Drudge dropped from 96 million visits to 77 million. So Drudge appears to be hemorrhaging conservative eyeballs. But for now, Drudge is still dwarfing the other aggregators seeking to pull traffic from the longtime go-to for the right. Of the 5 competitors cited by the Times, the largest, Liberty Daily, pulled in an average of 1.72 million monthly visits. So, looking forward to see what the Bongino Report can do for us. As Drudge is one of the many tools in my toolbox as conservative host, as a talking head here on Mojo 50, as it were. But as you can see, I have shoulders, I have a nice shirt, not just a head. But it's good to see that in response to the rampant bias of the mainstream media, and now even the tilt of Drudge, there is another. Much like FreedomHard is rising up to fill the void left by Facebook, and BitChute is rising up to fill the void left by YouTube, now we see the Bongino Report rising up to fill the void left by Drudge. To Twitter, there's Gab and Parlay. To Facebook, there's Minds, MeWe, and now FreedomHard. There are alternatives out there. You have to be willing to take them, willing to be patient with them. You can't expect the same spit and polish as these multi-trillion-dollar, in some cases, billion-dollar in most, outlets. But if you're patient with them, you're willing to grow with them, I think we can do something wonderful. And Mojo 50 is one of those opportunities as well. If you have any questions about Mojo 50 from that perspective and want to grow with us, please feel free to contact me directly at 480-442-6604. You can give me a call there, and I'd be happy to talk with you about what Mojo 50 can do for your business, by the way, because I also help out with our sales team here. But all good things. All good news. Now, I know the first half of the show we spent mainly on thinking and contemplating the concept of a vote of no confidence. And you might be asking yourself, Matt, why did you go down that rabbit hole and then just kind of jag left? We haven't talked about Article 5 in a while. Because Article 5 is typically viewed by people on the right as an inherently conservative tactic, an inherently conservative weapon. My concern with Article 5 has always been, what direction can it go, and how much do we have the ability to limit an Article 5 attempt to amend the Constitution? How do we prevent a runaway constitutional convention? And I haven't gotten a satisfactory answer on that as of yet. But when I look at our propensity to politicize proceedings like an impeachment and to look for the politically expedient method when we're not getting our way, we constantly talk about ousting a president. If we had an Article 5 convention, what's to say someone on the left, or hell, even somebody on the right, wouldn't introduce that concept to us, where we could suddenly just have our legislature vote no confidence in a presidential administration, and they're gone. Or call for a snap election, and then we could wind up very much where our cousins across the Atlantic are right now, on their third election in 4 years. Their third election in 4 years. Since agreeing to Brexit, since voting for Brexit in record numbers, record-shattering numbers for a referendum, and now being unable to move forward because their government lacks the political will and wherewithal to do so. Because they've been completely unable to reach a deal with an intransigent EU. So now, superimpose that same system here into the United States with such issues like red flag laws, like bump stock bans, like gun control in general, like state health care. If this system were in place here in the U.S. that is currently in place in the U.K., or something similar that allowed for a no confidence vote, President Trump would already be out of office. He'd already be out if the House had the same power that Parliament holds. Thank God every day for the wisdom of our founding fathers. That's what I'm thankful for this Thanksgiving. By the way, I do recall I said at the beginning of the show, happy Thanksgiving to you all. Safe travels if you're traveling home right now, or if you're staying the weekend, you're traveling home on Sunday. I know after the show on Saturday, we have Cowboy Logic coming up, and after the show on Sunday, we have Whiskey Six and the Gang. But either way, to everybody listening to my voice, to all of my compatriots at Mojo 50, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for this amazing opportunity to speak to you every week here on Mojo 50. And you can find me on mojo50.com, theholonet.com, Mojo50 TV, YouTube, BitChute, iHeart, Spreaker, SoundCloud, TuneIn, everywhere great podcasts are found. You can find me, as I said, on FreedomHard, on the MeWe's, Minds, Gab, and Parlay. And, of course, Twitter, at Matt Holloway, or at the HoloNet. Facebook, facebook.com/HoloNet. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Coming up Whew. January. I've been doing the show 3 years. 3 years. Not for Mojo, of course. Mojo just came on last year, but I started at the previous network, Lanterns Media Network. Same place where Defenders Live and Watson Prunier were formerly. So much has changed. So very, very much has changed. You've changed with me. And those of you who have been with me from the beginning, I'm incredibly thankful for you, and I thank God for you. I know, like, production values have substantially improved, and I think I'm getting better at this. I hope I am. I'm very honored to be working with people like Ron and Handy J and Brad Staggs, Defenders Live, Watson Prunier, Dominic Izzo, Jennifer Torres, that's what she said. Just this amazing lineup of talent that we have, and it is such a hopeful time going into this 2020 election that, the American people are going to see through this impeachment thing. I think it's all going to go down in flames. It's never going to go anywhere. And then the 2020 election is going to come up, and the country is going to wake up to the fact that we have the best economy. And that President Trump, since he is the figurehead of the full faith and credit of the United States, of people's belief in our country as a concept, that since he is the figurehead of that, his job is to sell it, and he's good at selling things. That's what President Trump does. He's a salesman. And he can continue to sell that and keep that full faith and credit in the United States. That's why our economy, in part, is succeeding. It's not the only reason, but it's a big reason. And people are going to see that, unemployment at record lows for black people, for Latino people, for women in general. Unemployment's low, wages are up, the available jobs are through the roof. It's insane, but it's getting better. For the first time in my life, I can actually see things truly getting better in real time before my very eyes, and it's exciting. And that's what I'm thankful for this year. I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful for our president. I'm thankful for the future that I see in front of us. And on that note, folks, happy Thanksgiving. Good night. God bless you. And God bless the United States of America. From Phoenix, Arizona, I'm Matt Holloway on Mojo 50 Radio. End transmission.